does not stop with simply absorbing. Next, you have to think about the information you've gained. This is what the study of logic helps you do. You learn to relate all the bits of information you've gathered, to analyze them and think critically about them, and to reach a valid conclusion through reasoning. But this process is valid across the subjects as well, and thus we get the logic stage. Starting in the logic stage, students combine their humanities studies so that they not only learn about the philosophers, politicians, and theologians of the past, but examine them on a chronological spectrum and see how the ideas and worldviews of one generation influence the next along the timeline. Students learn history from those who lived it by reading primary sources, and they study literature from the historical time periods they are studying in order to see how the themes and artistry of a piece of literature reflect the worldviews of a particular time and culture. They also begin to appreciate the complexity of artistry and understand how a beautifully crafted work communicates its purpose effectively. Students in this stage, of course, take up the study of logic as well, in order to develop inductive and deductive reasoning skills. Students also study speech and debate as part of this class, learning how to prepare effective arguments for both sides of an issue in a formal policy debate. Students also spend 2 years in this stage studying the Bible, learning how to cull truth from a biblical text with hermeneutics, and learning to think theologically. In math and science, students start using the known to discover the unknown. Math is, again, not part of our core curriculum shown here, but in their options math classes, students will be solving for x and working out geometrical proofs. They start thinking and using math much more abstractly. In their science classes, they're using the scientific method to form an educated hypothesis, conduct an experiment, and reach a conclusion. The focus in this stage is on teaching students not what to think, but how to best think about the information they encounter. This is the second invaluable tool of learning. And, like the grammar stage, the logic stage fits in nicely with a child's natural development. Around middle school, students start to really enjoy argumentation and reasoning. If you have students this age, you may have started to notice this propensity for argumentation in your students. Whereas before your child would have complained about a chore or simply begged for a certain privilege, now your child might actually present some pretty good reasons why he or she should be allowed to put off vacuuming the living room or to put off bedtime for an extra hour. Such students have reached the logic stage of their development. So a classical education harnesses this acuity. The learning stage implements a lot of Socratic discussion and debate because these tools help students develop their critical thinking skills.